I recently just beat The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, which came out in 1992. It is quite literally older than I am, and I think I enjoyed it more than Zelda Breath of the Wild, which came out, hold up, I can't remember when it came out. Breath of the Wild release date. It came out in 2017. Breath of the Wild is 9 years old. Good God, I guess I'm getting old. But yeah, if you follow my channel, you've probably noticed I've recently become infatuated with playing retro video games, and especially going back and playing early games in a series that I'm really not familiar with. I recently just beat the first God of War game. I just beat the first Metroid game, even though it was technically Zero Mission, a remake of the first Metro game. And this made me want to go back and play an early Zelda game, and after doing some research and seeing glowing reviews on it, I decided to play Link to the Past. And although it would have been pretty cool to go out and buy an SNES and the original cart, I did emulate this on my new 3DS XL. I mean, come on, it's an SNES edition. It only makes sense to play SNES games on my SNES 3DS. Plus, I did have the added benefit of making save states. Yes, I did use them a little bit. Sorry I didn't play like they did back in 1992. I used the perks of modern technology to have a better experience with the game. Shoot me. But the game begins with your uncle waking you up, telling you that there's some sort of problem going on that he's gonna go address, and tells you to stay in the house where it's safe, which is kind of strange because the house only has one bed. So does that mean that you sleep in the same bed as your uncle? I mean, hey, no judgments here, but seems like it'd be a little uncomfortable. But you don't listen to your uncle, you go venture out, you find that he is injured, and that's where he gives you a sword and shield. And just like every Zelda game, you start a journey to go stop Ganon from taking over Hyrule. Or at least I'm pretty sure that's how every Zelda game goes, because the only two other games I've played are Majora's Mask and Breath of the Wild. And I guess in Majora's Mask, you don't stop Ganon. So I guess you go out to stop Ganon just like almost every Zelda game in the series. And the combat's pretty simple. You're just little old Link with a little old sword fighting off enemies. And at first when I kind of started, I was like, that feels like this could get old after a while, but somehow it didn't. Like there was enough enemy variety where it always felt fresh, and I don't know, the combat never got old to me. I was still always enjoying it as I progressed, especially because your health was very precious. It was a little difficult sometimes to get more health back, which gave you a lot of incentive to master each enemy to make sure you could defeat them unscathed. And it is a beautiful game. Like one day I would love to see how it looks on a CRT TV on original hardware, but even just on my 3DS, like the pixel art in this game, it's just so beautiful. Like it's just insane to me that this game came out in 1992. It is older than I am. But we gotta give Zelda Breath of the Wild some flowers too. I mean, it is also a beautiful game. And by today's standards, the original Nintendo Switch is basically a calculator at this point. So the fact that this game does run like it does on the original Switch is nothing short of also impressive. Because even though I am gonna hate on Breath of the Wild a little bit in this video, I still really did enjoy Breath of the Wild. But the issues I had with the game really did show while playing Link to the Past. Because a lot of complaints I see about Breath of the Wild is that it's not a traditional Zelda game. Because if you've played Breath of the Wild, you'll know that it is a huge, massive open world with so many things to do. And I'll admit, I did enjoy exploring Breath of the Wild's world. It was like there was always something new and shiny to go look at. It was like ADHD the video game. You'd run around and just find all sorts of cool stuff. And the world did feel very purposefully built. Like there was nothing really in it that would waste your time. There was always a new shrine that you would discover to go in, and they did have pretty unique puzzles, and I would always enjoy solving the shrines. Same with the Korok seeds. You'd find little hidden puzzles or pick up certain rocks that look weird and find the Korok seeds to help level up Link and make him more powerful. But if I only had 1 hour to sit down and play a video game, I don't want to go and pick up a couple random pieces of rewards that'll hopefully maybe lead to myself upgrading my kit and not feeling like I really accomplished a whole lot. Which is one of the main problems I have with Breath of the Wild and a lot of modern games, is it's just too massive. It's too big of a game to enjoy in small bursts. Because I've always kind of wondered, like, what do people mean by this Zelda formula? And I think I really experienced it with Link to the Past, and that's because the focal point is the dungeons. And I kind of like that, like, once the game got started, it just showed you where the dungeons were on the map. It's like, yep, just go here, 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 and here. That's all you need to do. And I kind of just did that. I just went from dungeon to dungeon, completing them as I went along, except for a couple times where, like, you needed specific power-ups or upgrades to Link that came from the overworld, which did force you to explore a little bit, but I just liked how it wasn't this overwhelming, huge, massive map with 100 different things to do and 100 different mechanics with cooking and 50 different armors and weapons that break as you go along. Because you know what was nice about A Link to the Past? You had your sword, and throughout the game you would upgrade your sword, but your sword wouldn't freaking break. There is nothing more frustrating about Breath of the Wild than when you find a weapon that you love that's super powerful and you enjoy, and it eventually just breaks and there's nothing you can do about it. To this day, I don't understand why that was a mechanic in the game, or why you couldn't at least repair your weapon before it broke. I absolutely hated that, and it made it such a frustrating game to pick up and play. Like, the worst problem you ever had with Link to the Past was sometimes you'd run out of a health potion, and maybe you could leave the dungeon and go refill your health potion and come back, but you never ran out of freaking weapons. And the game sometimes did show its age a little bit. Like, some of the puzzles were so stupid. Like, I'd be stuck in a room and not be able to figure out what I was supposed to do, and I'd finally look it up, and it turned out you were supposed to, like, walk over and cut a curtain with your sword, or there'd be one random block that you need to push. Or like this room, for example, with these chain chomps, I couldn't figure out. I thought you were supposed to fight them, so I kept trying to figure out how to kill them over and over again. So I finally realized that wasn't what you were supposed to do. You were just supposed to push this block to unlock the door, and you couldn't actually kill the chain chomps at all. And some of the other, like, puzzles on the overworld were a little silly. Like, I found this chest that was following you around that you couldn't unlock, and after deciding I didn't feel like spending the time to figure out what I was supposed to do, it turned out you were supposed to go talk to a random NPC like halfway across the map, and he would unlock the chest for you. Apparently there were some context clues somewhere that would have told me that, but I would have never figured that out. And as I've gotten older and have had more responsibilities, like, especially now, I have a 1-month-old at home, so the time I have to play video games is not as great as it used to be when I was 21, 9 years ago. I still can't get over that. But I just feel like a nice linear experience like A Link to the Past, where you just have these 9 dungeons that you're supposed to defeat with this much smaller, packed in map with still a lot to explore and discover, is just a more enjoyable experience than the massive world of Breath of the Wild that takes you like 60, 100 hours to finally conquer and explore it all. Like, it took me probably 5 separate times of picking up Breath of the Wild, putting it down for months and months and months, and picking it back up again. Like, it was always such a commitment to be like, all right, where am I? Where am I on this map? What weapons do I have? How do I use these power-ups again? You had to, like, reacclimate yourself with the whole kit. I feel like I could pick up Link to the Past at any point in time throughout the rest of my life, be at any point in the game, be able to pick it up, be like, oh yeah, okay, I got my sword, got my spells, I'm good, and just keep going. And it has just made me really realize that I just enjoy a game that does what it sets out to do. I recently played through Tony Hawk Pro Skater. It was a skateboarding game where you start the game, you play the mission, you get the points and the stuff you need, and that's it. Like, even talking now, like, I know I need to go boot up Breath of the Wild to go get the game footage for the stuff I'm talking about, and I really just don't want to do that. I don't want to have to boot it up and go try to travel to some of these things I'm talking about and do it all. Like, that just sounds like too much work. I might boot up Link to the Past to get, like, the intro sequence, and that all sounds just so easy because I actually enjoyed the game a lot more than I enjoyed Breath Through the Wild. So yeah, that was pretty much all I had to say. Hopefully I managed to get my point across, because I don't ever script my videos. I just turn the camera on and I start yapping, and if it's a masterpiece or a rambling mess, that is how the video comes out, and hopefully you enjoy it. And I'm excited to keep exploring the Zelda series. I do have Zelda Twilight Princess and Zelda Wind Waker, which I've both played a little bit of, but never really played through in its entirety. So once I have more time to sit down at my desk, these are two I definitely want to play. But as it currently is with my newborn, like handheld gaming is just all I'm really stuck to right now. So maybe I'll end up playing Ocarina of Time on my 3DS instead, since that's another one like I've sort of played but never beat. I've just been so conflicted though, like do I want to play the 3DS version or play the Nintendo 64 version? But yeah, I don't know. I always like can't decide how I want to play a game when there's too many ways to play it. Why I kind of hate remasters, which is a topic for another day. And I think I'm really starting to see the argument that a lot of people make of, oh, retro video games were just so much better than modern games. Nowadays, we have seemingly endless technology leading you to have endless possibilities of what you can do with a video game, and I think developers just get a little bit too ahead of themselves trying to make this massive entity of a game that's just doing too much. Because I enjoyed Link to the Past more, not because it's a better game, but because it was just a more enjoyable experience. That linear game of doing what it set out to do and not just trying to do 100 different things at once is I think why a lot of people feel like they enjoy retro video games more. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video. I really have enjoyed this style of just talking about games instead of doing Let's Plays like I kind of did when I first made this channel, because I just, again, don't have time to sit in this room a lot and just play video games and talk to a camera. It's easier for me to play stuff on my couch and be present with my family. So let me know, I'm curious, what's your favorite Zelda game? What's your favorite way to play some of these Zelda games I've talked about? Did you play Link to the Past on an SNES on the original cart? I do think I would be pretty cool to experience that and play it on a CRT TV, but I'm just glad to have this thing and be able to play SNES games on a handheld. It just makes it a lot easier than trying to track down the original carts and play it on a TV. So if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, click buttons, all that good stuff. ScootTube out.